Hi all, it's Bay bringing you Captain Tsubasa Dream Team. And did you guys watch yesterday's Club Games Club Station? They have announced that, well, together with the new events that will be coming from this Friday, I think I'll be uploading this on Friday, so it's the same day. They announced that the global version will finally catch up with the Japanese version on the passive skills, right? And for those who've been watching my videos, all the videos in the past, you might have already watched me talk about the new passives every time they released one, because I've been covering all the whenever there was a new passive, I did a video on the Japanese version in English. So for those who follow those, you might already know what's coming up and how strong they are. But for those who haven't, or for those who haven't and who's playing global, I would like to go over some passive skills. I'm not gonna be able to cover everything because there's so many, but I would like to go over some of them that I think is super strong. And for the characters I'll be mentioning after this, they will be their passives will be so strong that some characters will even take over places that is being taken by any very recent characters that's supposed to be super strong. That's how strong some characters will be after the new passive. So I hope everyone hasn't put the characters that didn't have passive until today into Mixer, because if those who put some super strong characters with the new passive in the Mixer, you might regret what's coming. Yeah, so let's go on. So I'm gonna I'll talk about the new passives, showing you the screenshots, because I've already selected the ones I think that are super good. So I'll turn on the music on another device and show it to you here. So, as Club Games they mentioned in their latest Club Station, is that they will bring new events, the login event, Chapter 2, where they will give out like selectable, what is it called? The tickets, I think, which we've already got, didn't we? I forgot. No, we haven't yet, right? And some black balls, or like, yeah, many good stuff. So please do log in, and they will bring back another new Euro Medal event, which is probably similar to what's already here with the blue medal, which you're supposed to collect by clearing the stage, defeating all the very strong Asian national teams. And they will bring the second part of the black medal, where you're now gonna be able to collect and exchange to Schneider, Napoleon, Aoi's black balls, together with probably other characters. I don't know, they haven't mentioned yet. And the share play is now on again, and I just simply don't understand why they stop share play every once in a while and bring it back. Why don't they just keep it? I don't understand, because I think what Club Games should understand as a user, from the user's point of view, is that shared play is not only thankful to clear the limited time events like the black or blue medals, but it is also useful for many people who have recently started or who's in a club but that's not that active, to raise their raid skills, which even if the club you're in is active, I even feel the same, but it's really hard to collect like old characters raid skills, right? Because like there are occasions where, like, for example, when Dreamfest, I don't know, Jito came like a few months back, right? I failed to get it, for example, and I got it like recently. There are many cases like that, right? And now that I got Jito, I would finally like to collect like combination with Sano, which I don't think many of you want, but yeah, it's just an example. And I try to share the stage. No one will join because no one cares about Jito now, right? Not many people gets Jito at this point. So yeah, I think it's important to have this. So I would really want this shared play global version, or what do you call it? Open to the world. Yeah, the world version of shared play should maintain forever. I wish that really happens. Okay, so anyway, sorry for the mentioning other stuff, but here I am with the new passive skill. So they said there's gonna be many characters with the passive now, and the global have now finally caught up with the Japanese version, right? And out of all the passives that is to come, or by the time you're watching this video, maybe the update is already here. I would like to go over some of the characters that are super strong, OP characters. One of them is Tsubasa, Nankatsu Tsubasa. His passive will be all parameter will boost by 20% when going up against Japanese characters. And since this game has so many Japanese characters that are super good, especially goalies, this character will be so strong, very strong. Although it's a very first character that's in the game from the beginning, he will be super strong. I see many people using him as a starter even today in Japan. That's how strong. And from my experience, I know that although he's toughness type, his drive shot, like level 5 or something, very low level, S rank drive shot, could score off even Wakashimazu, the blue All Japan national team 2017 Wakashimazu, level like 20. Wakadoryu level 20. This guy's drive shot could beat that. That's how strong. Okay? So if you're up against like characters like a green Wakabayashi, this guy is a killer. I swear. This guy's a killer. Okay, so he will be strong. So for those who have him, you should be super happy. And next is Misaki, green Misaki, which is again in the game from the beginning. His passive will be if Tsubasa is in the starting lineup together, all his parameter will go up by 20%. So it's even better than Tsubasa in terms of how this passive will be effective because Tsubasa will only be effective against Japanese players, but if Tsubasa is here together, all his parameter will stay 20% up the whole time. So it's super good, and because his pass and technique is so high, his pass is 7,200. After 20%, let me do the calculation. 720 times 1.2 what equals 8,424. Oops, sorry, I messed up. 7212 times 1.2. No, it's 8,654. That's super strong, and from my experience again, I could even pass Fest Scouts when he does the interception skill, S rank. Fest Scouts is supposed to be one of the second to the strongest characters in terms of interception. Okay, and even when he uses his main skill S rank interception, I could pass him with this Misaki with level 1 golden duo S rank. I can. Well, it's like I get Kautz gets it sometimes. I wouldn't say he'll pass Kautz all the time, but that's how strong. It's like 50-50 chance that he'll pass characters like Kautz or Fest Bunnak or players like that, even though his type is has disadvantage against these toughness characters. So he's gonna be strong. So even when you match up against anyone, even if you know that he's gonna intercept, just do the golden duo or even pass skill, and you'll probably be able to pass that character. That's how strong he'll be. Like Tsubasa that I previously mentioned, this Misaki is a starter for many people in Japan, and people like me who's playing with toughness type, I use him although the type is different and he doesn't get any team skill boost. That's how he will be strong. And Misugi, this Misugi, overhead block Misugi, he will have a passive where I forgot. If Matsuyama is in a starting lineup, all his parameter will boost by 10%, I think, or 20. I forgot. Maybe 20. Let me check real quick. If Matsuyama is around, his parameter will go up by 20%. And this passive is supposed to be good like Misaki, but he's not as good as Misaki in terms of the original stats. So even after the 20%, he won't be a killer. So maybe for those who are lacking defender and who's using toughness type, and you want a strong blocker, you will be able to use him after the passive. But it's not like you want to remove someone strong that's already in the starter and bring him in. It's not like that. Not for him. But still, thanks to this passive, like for those who's lacking defender, he'll be useful. And Matsuyama, Fest Matsuyama will have a passive. And what his passive is if Misugi is around, any Misugi, all his parameter will be boosted by 10%. 10%, yeah. So because he's a Fest character, although the passive boost is only 10%, it's already good enough. He's gonna be now very strong. As a DMF, he'll probably be one of the strongest now. And yeah, he's very strong. Everyone again uses this Matsuyama. He's now back to the starter for many people, especially for those who are using skill type team. Yeah, so please do the math, but as you can see, his tackle is already pretty damn edgy. So with the 10% boost, he'll have like 7,400, right? That means his tackle will be as strong as I don't know who, but like not as strong, but close to super strong characters like Alberto. And well, if you include the speed, it's not, but still, because he's a Fest character, he could do other stuff like interception is also high. And his technique, and his pass, and his dribble. So there are so many skills now for Matsuyama. So he'll be a really good midfielder who could do both offensive side and defensive side. So yeah, after the 10% boost, he'll be really strong. Yes. And Tachibana Twin. So I'm only showing Masao, but Kazuo will also have the same passive, which is auto intercept enhance. So whenever the ball goes above him, the field pass goes above him, there's a chance of him using the special skill interception automatically without using his stamina. And the percentage of this activating this skill is 30%. So 30% sounds a bit low because some characters like Natureza or Misaki, the 2017 Misaki, has like 50%. So compared to those, it's weaker. But because his interception stats is already super high, I think it's going to be very strong. I mean, it is strong. It is. Many players, again, in Japan now is starting to put him back as a defensive character. Yeah. So that's good. And I think this is one of the greatest characters with the new passive, Fest Diaz. He will have 15% boost to all his parameter when he goes up against green type. So he's already toughness and strong against green type, but with his passive, he'll have another 15% boost to all the stats. And after this happens, right, goalkeepers like Green Wakabayashi or Green Zeno or I don't know who, Green Espadas, anyone, you can't stop him. It's really hard to stop him because especially when you're going with green team, which I was for a long time. I really hated this character as an opponent. We can't stop him with the defender nor the goalie, so it's just impossible. Mission impossible. That's how strong he'll be because originally he's already super strong, right? But with the passive, I recently did a forward character ranking in Japanese. Sorry, I haven't done it in English, but the reason why I didn't is because I was about to, right? But then right after, on that day when I was gonna shoot the English version, they released some new characters. And that's why I stopped because I couldn't put those new characters in. It was too sudden that I couldn't. And I had to, shoot other stuff too, so I couldn't. But I will do another ranking by position soon, so stay tuned for that. But I mentioned how strong he is. I used to put him as like when I did a Dream Fest ranking, I put him at like rank 7 or something. I forgot, but it was around there. But after the passive, when I did the forward ranking, I put him as number 2. I think it was number 2. Yeah, after Napoleon. Yeah, or something. Because, after the 15%, although it only works against green type, it doesn't matter. He's already super strong, so he's already strong against toughness type, and he has disadvantage against blue type, of course. But when it comes to green type, he'll have 15%. 15. He's gonna be a killer after that. So that's the reason why I put him number 2 at the forward ranking. It might change after the new characters, but still, he's gonna be a super strong character. So for those who have him, congratulations. So next comes Pierre. I think I've been telling many of you in the past videos that for those who are starting now with the reroll, you should start with him at the tutorial gacha or transfer, because there's not many characters that come out of that gacha, but out of that those characters, he is way better than the other characters, and the reason is because of this passive. He will have 30% boost when Napoleon is around. 30%, guys, 30. And when that happens, all his stats will be above 18,000, and some, like attack, will be exceeding 19,000, I think, if I remember it correctly. So that's how strong. And after that happens, he will be as strong as the Fess Pierre, the green Pierre. Well, the types are different. I mean, in terms of like, this blue Pierre is more dedicated to offense, right? Whereas the green Pierre, although he could do triple position, he is more dedicated to defense because his main skill is block and his stats on defense is really edgy. But so I think it's gonna be useful to use these characters case by case. When you want to go offensive, you want to use him, or if you want to use blue type, you want to of course use him. And when you want to go defensive or green type, you should use the Fess Pierre. Yeah, so this is gonna be really strong, very strong. So for those who have him, it's gonna be you'll probably want to put him back. And because for those who have Fess Napoleon, like me, and I don't have Fess Pierre on the global, I will now be able to use him to boost Napoleon's passive, which is 10% boost when Pierre is around. But until today, it was very, very hard to put this guy in because he's so weak right now without the passive, right? Even though we know that we want to boost Napoleon 10%, it was hard to make that decision because this Pierre would be like in the way, But now with this passive, you won't have to worry about that. So please do put him in as a starter for those who are using Napoleon. And also this Pierre, the green Pierre, will also have the same kind of passive. If Napoleon is around, he will have, I think it was 20% boost. Let me check. So he won't be as strong as the blue Pierre, but still with the 20%, he'll be pretty damn strong. So for those who have him, 10%, sorry, 10. But even with the 10, because his original stats is way better than the original blue Pierre, as a defensive character, he will be strong. And in terms of tackle, he will exceed Fess Pierre. And because he has butterfly tackle, when it comes to tackle, it's really gonna be strong. Yeah. And this Napoleon will also have the same type of skill, where I think all his parameter will be boosted by 10% when Pierre's around. Yeah. So again, like the previous Pierre, this Napoleon will be super. The stats will be very good because his original is already, his attack is 17,000. So with the 10%, he'll be around 18,000. That's pretty strong. And although he's a forward character, he's edgy on technique and pass. So you might want to use him as like you want to use a formation where there's more than 2 forwards, and you want to put him as 1 forward to assist the striker forward. Yeah, because his pass will be really strong that not many could take it away from him. Especially his Eiffel attack will be very strong. So today there's the new Wakabayashi. It's gonna be very important for us to get into the box, right? And the best way, easiest way to get into the box is to use 1-2. Yeah, and in order for you to pass very strong interception defenders, you would want to use strong 1-2 characters. So he might be one of the character. Yeah. So for those who don't have Fest Napoleon and who have this Napoleon, this guy might be useful. Yeah. Okay, next. Schneider. There's several Schneiders that will have new passive, and this is one of them, the very initial Schneider. This Schneider's passive is very unique. It is when the goalie does catching skill, whatever catch skill, all his parameter will go up by 20%. So since it only activates when the catch is when the opponent does catch, although it says all parameter will be boosted, it only matters to shot and power, because by the time you know that the opponent does catch, you're already shooting, right? But yeah, it's gonna boost all parameter by 20%. So it's gonna be strong. His shot is gonna be very strong. But to be honest, I think even after this boost, he won't be as strong as like the Red Schneider, who has the passive when Tsubasa is around, all his parameter will go up by 20%. But for those who don't have other Schneiders, I think he will be pretty useful. Yeah. So his stats, his shot will be like 7,300 after the passive, right? Yeah, right? And his power will be 5,800 or something. So that's like what? 2,900 when you divide that by 2 plus 7,300 equals like 10,200. So that's very strong. So definitely he will be another red type killer, especially I would say Salinas, because if you stop, well, Salinas, when you shoot, when you're being shot against the opponent, you have to do catch mainly, right? So because his agility and he kills catching skills, well, his parameter will be boosted 20% when catch is selected. Yeah, he, I think, will really be a monster, especially against Salinas. And next is this Schneider, Green Schneider with overhead, fire overhead. His passive is very unique. His high ball skill power will be boosted by 50%. 50%. So for those who are using him, when it comes to fire overhead, it will be pretty strong, because fire overhead is A rank skill. It's easier for you to level this skill with the SR black ball, because it's much more easier to get, right? So when you are able to maximize this skill, it'll be 340, and with the 50% boost on top of the 340, right, it will be 510. 510. That is maximum level of Miracle Flying Drive Shot Natureza. That's how strong. So, yeah, if you have enough SR balls to raise his skill, maybe, and plus if you don't have any other Schneider, now that the Germany national team Schneider came and he's the same type, for those who have that Schneider, it's gonna be hard for you to use this Schneider, because that Schneider is way better. But for those who don't, you might be able to use him. And this Schneider, Fire Tiger Twin Schneider, will now have what is it? I think it was 10% boost when Hyuga is around. When Hyuga is around, well, when I say when someone is around, it means you have to have the character in the starter. Okay, sorry. 20% boost. So he's gonna be very strong, like the initial Schneider, the blue Schneider. Something similar, but I guess the initial Schneider is stronger in terms of power. But for when you are up against characters who's strong with punch, like Wakashimazu or like Espadas, that Schneider doesn't work. His passive won't activate. So yeah, this Schneider is in that sense stronger. I mean, more useful, easier to use, I guess. Yeah. And Gentile. This Gentile will have a passive where when he goes up against Japanese character, I think. Let me check. Yeah, all parameter will go up by 30%. So he's gonna be very strong when it comes to going up against Japanese. And now that the new Wakabayashi, Red Wakabayashi came, I think there's many, and Aoi came. There are now more people who are using red type Japanese characters. So I think he'll be useful. Because 30% boost will bring him to a very strong defender, especially when it comes to tackle. But since he's an initial character, he is, even after the 30%, other Gentile might still be better because other Gentile has like stand firm, the red one. He will have a stand firm, and his stats is already very high. His defense is 18,000 and above. But he's like 15,000, right? Even after the 30%, what's it gonna be like? Well, okay, it'll exceed 20,000, so I guess he's gonna be super strong. Yeah, but that's only when he goes up against Japanese. So, yeah, you have to be careful when to use him. Maybe you wanna put him in bench, and then when you know that the opponent is only using Japanese or using many Japanese forward, then you might wanna bring him. Yeah. And as I said, he'll have stand firm, so he'll be even stronger. So now, with the new passive, you could make 3 stand firm defending characters. Bunnak, green Bunnak, this Gentile, and green Misugi. Yeah, so if you're using a 3 back formation, you could do all 3 of them with stand firm. I did that once with a video. I didn't have the chance to use all of them, stand firm, but I think it's going to be annoying. Yeah. And this Brawling will have Hyuga Killer. So when he goes up against Hyuga, all his parameter will go up by 30%. So that's going to be strong. He's going to be a very strong Hyuga Killer. When it comes to Hyuga, he'll be super strong. So what you want to do probably is, like I said for Gentile, keep him in bench. And then if you know that the striker of the opponent is Hyuga, you want to bring him and just, put him at around where Hyuga is around. Yeah. And Natureza, he will be OP, guys. Maybe most of you already know, but he'll have a 15% boost against Japanese players. 15%. So he's already strong like Diaz, but about Brawling, he'll be boosted by 50%, not 30, 50. I just checked. Yeah, so he's even stronger. And this Natureza, he'll have 15% boost when he opposes against Japanese, and because his stats is already super strong and it's really balanced both on attack and defense, I really think he should Club Games should say offense instead of attack. But anyways, attack and defense is really balanced. He could do basically everything, and when he goes up against Japanese, he'll be boosted another 15%. And because of the new Wakabayashi's presence today, I think he will be very useful to kill Wakabayashi. Yeah, because he has Dream Duo 1-2, so he could bring the ball himself, right, up into the box, and then he could do the Miracle Flying Drive Shot with a 15% boost against the red Wakabayashi. So he will be really strong, especially against the new Wakabayashi. So for those who are struggling playing against the new Wakabayashi and who has this Natureza, definitely bring him as a center midfielder and bring the ball by himself, and then you'll easily be able to get into the box. And when you're in the box, you'll probably be able to score off against Wakabayashi, even the strong Wakabayashi. Yeah, so that's how strong he'll be. Yeah, so that's it. So out of all the characters I just introduced, I think Natureza, Diaz, Green Misaki, Red Nankatsu Tsubasa, these and Blue Pierre, these will be super duper strong. So for those who have them, you'll be really be able to use him back in the starter. Oh, and don't forget about Matsuyama as well. He'll be super strong. And yeah, most of them. The characters I mentioned today here are going to be super strong. So please do think of another new way to utilize these characters, because I think they'll be able to replace the characters you're currently using as a starter. Yeah, so please do that. And I hope this video was useful, and please do leave comments. And for those who have any other questions, is this character good, how's this passive, things like that. But in a few hours time, I think the new update will come, and by the time you probably watch this, the update is here, and you'll be able to experience the new passives. So thanks for watching today, and please do subscribe, hit the like button to support me, and I'll be doing many more informative gacha, playing PvPs and everything. So please support me and stay tuned for my next video. Thanks for watching, and bye.